The aim of the Cultural Institute is to preserve and promote culture online, make it accessible to the world.
The launch of this new art project, which brings together the great museums across the world with Google.
Be on a platform where world's best galleries are all represented and the collections can be seen as a whole was really exciting.
We believe amazing things happen when art meets technology. What if we could help anyone in the world visit incredible places as if they were really there?
Everyone can profit from sharing information.
The internet has been incredibly important in the rise of street art.
It's amazing that through technology we are able to document everything.
This could become one of those fundamental instruments that all of us use.
So preserve, promote and provide access to culture. Please keep in mind these three words because we will go back to it. I'm Giorgia Abeltino, and yes, I've been a lawyer. Where's the organizer? But I quit. I quit some years ago, and I'm now the head of public policy for the Cultural Institute. And I would like to take really 10 minutes. I'm happy that the time is not on, but I'm conscious about time. It will be a very dense presentation, so please stay with me, have your cup of coffee. I really believe that what we are presenting is interesting for culture and, of course, for the future of copyright. So, Google Cultural Institute. What is the Google Cultural Institute? Google Cultural Institute started as a 20% project 4 years ago. So perhaps you know what is a 20% project. Engineers and all people working at Google have the possibility to devote 20% of our time to a project that is not within, let's say, our main competencies or our mission, but that allows creativity to flow and is on the side project that can be useful for the company. Well, 4 years ago, some engineers thought, okay, how is it possible that online I cannot find the same diversity and richness in culture that I can find in the offline world. There is not that such art and history online that I find offline. And so they started thinking on how to create a platform that is the place for art and culture more generally, and that's how the Cultural Institute started, as I said, 4 years ago, and now it became, in only 4 years, a pretty, I would say, pretty big element. I would like to guide you or drive you through 3 elements. Why Google did something like that, what is the Google Cultural Institute, and with whom we did it, which is pretty relevant for our copyright discussion. So, starting with the why, I give you my personal perspective also because I've worked in another domain, not only for the Cultural Institute within Google, but there is a very strong driver that convinced me to work for the Google Cultural Institute that I think is within the mission. So I'm Italian, as you can hear from my accent, and I'm from Naples. I'm from the south, and I grew up in a pretty normal family. But actually, I had the opportunity to grow up in Naples, in Italy. So let's say that culture, architecture, art was part of my daily life. I was pretty sorry, I was pretty lucky. But then at 22, I moved from Italy, and I've lived in many places. And I discovered, or I realized something that I'm sure is super clear for everybody, but it was not that clear to me. That is, having access to culture is not that easy, meaning that there are a lot of boundaries that can be geographical boundaries, there can be economic boundaries, education boundaries, but having access to culture, having access to art, history is not that easy. And therefore, digital can be an incredible tool to allow everybody to have access to culture and to art and to history. So the mission of the Google Cultural Institute is to preserve work culture through new digital tools and experiences. Sorry, and to make the work culture accessible to anyone, anywhere. And if you think about it, and if you think about the mission of Google itself, it's the same. So the Google mission is to organize worldwide information and make it available. With the Google Cultural Institute, we would like really to preserve the work culture and make it available to everybody, irrespective of the places, so the region or the country where they are, or the economic possibility that they have, etc., etc., etc. What is the Google Cultural Institute? The Google Cultural Institute is a platform. First of all, go and check it, www.google.com/culturalinstitute. Do it. That is based on 3 pillars: art, history, and world wonders. So let's start with art, or the art project. We started, as I said, 4 years ago, and the idea was there is so much art around the world that people cannot see, cannot visit. I mean, it's very difficult for for us to visit all the museums of the world and see all the art pieces of the world. So we started partnering with few cultural institutions, meaning museum, and have their museum and their art pieces online. Today, we will see the number later, but today there are a lot of museums that is possible to visit through the Street View technology. So on the platform, you can really move into the museum, and you can see all the art pieces of those museums with a quality of the images that I tell you, I have no time to show you, but it's just amazing. If you look at art pieces like I don't know, art pieces from Bruegel that are very small and very detailed, you can look at those paintings with a level of detail that it's the most advanced level of detail that is today possible. So the art project is the first pillar. The second pillar is the historic moment. This is the thinking behind it. Archives, historical archives, are a treasure for the worldwide, for the world and for memory, and I believe also are very, very important in today's time. But these archives are very difficult to access. They have a lot of documents, and very often they're not digitized, so there's a problem of preservation. There is also a problem of spreading those the knowledge of those archives. So the project Historic Moments aim at preserving the archives, but also at really making history available to user, available to citizens, available to all of us. I give you the example that you can see here of the Nelson Mandela Foundation. So we started working with the Nelson Mandela Foundation that has incredible documents like the handwritten letters that Nelson Mandela wrote from prisons. And we thought, okay, how we can make this story that is so appealing very easy for citizens to have access. And so the Historic Moments tells the story of last century through the original document. For the Nelson Mandela, you will find the story of Nelson Mandela years in prison, Nelson Mandela years when he was a president, thought through the original documents. I'm sure that it's not needed to explain you what's the impact that something like that can have. Really, the importance of memory and importance of talking about memory through the original document and through the original sources, and of course through the people that can talk about it. In this case, the foundation, the Nelson Mandela Foundation. Last but not least, World Wonders. We went and we used our Street View technology to really map the world wonders, like the UNESCO Cultural Heritage Site. So in this section, you can move in places such as Versailles Mirror Room, this one, Borobudur, Angkor Wat, archaeological site, and all the main sites that exist nowadays on Earth. And again here, and this is a general point, of course we are not saying that the online experience can substitute the offline walking, watching in real experience, but is a fantastic way to have access and to know this beauties and this cultural heritage and potentially then visit it. Third question, sorry, I'm going very, very fast, with whom? And this is very important. We started 4 years ago, and as you can imagine, our partners that were the cultural institution, the museum, etc., were a little bit, okay, let's see where this is going. In 4 years, we reached 880 partners, and partners are museums, all main museums around the world, as I said, archives, etc., and we are active in 60 countries. So going to the heart and to the core of the discussion, why it was so successful in such a short period of time? Because this is a win-win solution. Because a very techy company like Google provide to the cultural institution all the digital means to digitize, to organize, and really to promote their content online, and to have, let's say, the worldwide citizens or the worldwide users accessing it. At the same time, Google is never going to be a cultural institution. We don't, unfortunately, know how to treat the cultural heritage. So this was a partnership, because in each project that you will see, the curator of the project is the cultural institution that says what images, what description, so is the cultural institution that is curated the content, and the copyright stays in the hands of the content owner, therefore the museum or the archives. We have, of course, the right to show it on our Cultural Institute platform, and when you will go there, you will see that there are no advertising, is non-commercial purposes, but it was a very, very important and win-win solution. And another piece is that data now shows that all the museums that got there had an increase of physical visitors, because if you are going to Indonesia, perhaps you don't know about all the museums that are in Indonesia. Going there, going to the Cultural Institute platform, perhaps you will know about museums and then you will visit it. So there are 6 million cultural objects that are today available from anywhere from the 60 countries that we mentioned, and 1,500 digital exhibitions. As I told you, we are trying to telling stories through the digital exhibitions. One last minute, really one last minute, to tell you about one last example that I'm very happy to talk about. I'm sure that you already know it, but it happened here in Warsaw, and it happened actually last month of October. So the Cultural Institute we partnered with the International Chopin Piano Competition. I don't have to tell you anything about the competition. You know it. It started in long time ago, etc., etc. 1972, if I'm not 27. Well, there's a big difference. The point was to partner with this institution really on 2 points. The first point is with the Cultural Institute to tell the story of Frédéric Chopin, of course, and of the competition, to really go behind the scenes, to understand all the details and sometimes the secret element of this competition, and we did it through the Cultural Institute. And the second point was with YouTube. All the performances of the young people that participated in the competition were on YouTube, and there were also live streamed. And it was a way, of course, to provide even more widespread access to this fantastic competition. And this is again an example on how to preserve, promote, and provide access to culture. I strongly believe in that the discussion that is happening here at the CopyCamp is a discussion, as you said, not only among lawyers, but lawyers are of course important. But it is a discussion that underlines that creativity has a huge impact from a cultural, an economic, and a social standpoint. The Cultural Institute is one of the examples of how we work with copyright to have this social and cultural impact at its most. And I think that the discussion should go in that direction to really shape the future of copyright in a way that makes the best of creativity. Thank you very much.